Bumble. Preface. For eons, the light and noise and solitude were relentless. Something changed. Nothing changed. Nothing could change because there was nothing to change. It got darker. Darkness isn't real. Noise, solitude, light. Nothing stays the same. Stars move. Slowly, but they do. Darkness happens as stars and planets and suns and moons and meteors and comets weave their way around and about their dynamic partners. Nothing stays the same. Unyielding light can, over time, become a cycle of light and dark. Surfaces cool. Gases rise. The first drops of steam are formed. It's all downhill from there. Millennia after those first drops of steam were formed, a grove of ancient redwood trees communed among itself in the lazy sunlight. A small creek trickled nearby. The air was warm, and the trees felt a deep, shared contentment. The grove guardian had stepped out of the tallest tree in order to cross the creek for just a moment to lend some cheer to a smaller tree that was struggling to find sunlight. All the trees supported each other in many different ways, but in this small way, the spirit of the tallest tree was also the caretaker for all the rest, giving a little extra morale boost when it seemed to be necessary. Deer foraged undisturbed nearby. Squirrels ran up and down the great trunks, chattering and playing. Hummingbirds soared and dove in their endless search for nectar. Beetles, ants, and other insects went about their busy lives. At night, bats came to eat the insects. Later, a bat might be taken by a snake or an owl. Snakes could be prey for owls or raccoons. Life and death in the redwood grove was understood and accepted. The fireball came roaring through the grove with no warning. It was swift, all-encompassing, and devastating. About the only thing left in its wake was a thick, ashy layer of soil, a dry little puff of wind that scattered the hundreds of newly released redwood seeds, and the echo of an argument seemingly between the gods themselves. Moments later, a spate of cooling rain fell on the remaining grove, quenching any sparks that might still be smoldering. Some time after the rain, a silvery gray cat, black whiskers and black tufts on her ears, appeared. She padded between the blackened stumps, rubbing against some of them, and picking up the ashes and soil with her claws as she scratched around on the ground, turning over the soil and seeds. The cat circled the blackened and hollowed-out stump that used to be the tallest tree, as if looking for someone or something. She mewed plaintively and pawed at the charred bark. Only silence answered her call. The cat took up residence in the stump that day, and for as long as it took the grove to begin to regenerate itself, the cat stayed and went about her daily life. In her own way, she cared for what was left behind of the redwood grove, resting, eating, hunting, and sleeping in and amongst the stumps and ashy ground. And on the day when the first handful of seedlings poked their green heads a few inches above the ground, the cat chirruped to herself, touched her nose to each seedling as if in greeting, then gently padded away into the surrounding countryside. The grove would continue, not only here, but wherever that dry little puff of wind would scatter its seeds.